Have I got Andy here?
Yes,
Yes,
Judge.
and John, correct?
That's correct.
Splendid. Now, Andy, John, this is a case that you've brought against, not John, in fact, but I'm going to call him John's boss, right? Now, John's boss is not here today, Matthew, although he has provided a statement.
That's correct.
Matthew runs what I'm going to call a small car dealership, and you work for him.
That's right.
And he's sent you along today to represent both his and the car firm's interests. In other words, you're acting as an agent, as a de facto lawyer on behalf of the company, correct?
That's right.
Splendid. Now, Andy, this is a very straightforward matter about a car. What car was it, Andy?
It was a Volkswagen Jetta.
And what was it about this particular model that you liked?
It was a TDI diesel.
A TDI diesel.
Yeah.
What's special about a TDI diesel? And bearing in mind what we know now about various diesel engines.
It's good fuel economy.
What do you do, Andy?
I'm a bus driver.
Now, I'm going to ask your wife about this. Do you mind standing up? Don't be nervous. Is Andy made of money?
No.
Worked hard
Very
to
hard.
save this up, correct?
Very hard.
Now, in addition to using the car for domestic and social purposes, were there any other reasons you wanted a vehicle?
Well, we travel, we go to functions all over the country.
Are you sort of professional wedding guests?
No, the wife's an Elvis, a bit of an Elvis enthusiast.
Right.
So I got Elvis festivals.
Elvis festivals?
We were at one at the weekend in Torquay, so that's why we were at the weekend.
You say that John's company and Matthew, they ain't nothing but a hound dog, is that right?
That's true.
Andy, you went and looked at this car. Did you take it for a test drive?
I did take it for a test drive.
What discussion did you have with Matthew, who isn't here, about buying that vehicle and especially about the MOT?
When he initially bought the car, it had a month's MOT, and he tried to get it for an MOT on the Saturday that I bought the car.
Now, you say he tried to. He told you he'd done that?
Yes, he told me he did, yes.
Fast forward, then what happened?
So I said, well, I can take it to my garage that I use, that I trust, see if I can get it in for an MOT with them. He said, yeah, no problem.
He said, no problem. Now, I need to read his statement now. At the time of the sale, the car was in great condition, he says. Did you check the vehicle before you took it away?
Yes.
The car was in great condition and there were no problems with the turbo. I even agreed to drop the price by £350. Is that right?
It did get dropped by £350, yes.
But it's got nothing to do with the turbo. It's because he wanted to sell it. And he was in a rush to buy and take home the car. Does that sound right?
Well, no, because I asked him if he wanted to keep hold of it or I was going to take it to my garage.
Are you able to help with that discussion and whether it took place?
That's a lie, what he's just said.
What? You say that's a lie.
That is a lie.
In order to know something's a lie, you have to have first-hand knowledge of it. Were you at this conversation?
No, I wasn't.
Were you present?
No, I wasn't.
I offered to get the car MOT'd. You don't dispute that, do you?
No.
When I sell my vehicles, and this is what you're saying, by the way, John.
Yes.
When I sell my vehicles, I usually use a local MOT station to me. However, Andy went ahead and MOT'd the car himself through another company and never brought the car back to me as we agreed. Did you agree to bring the car back to him to MOT?
I didn't, no.
Furthermore, when Andy did then come to me after he had got the MOT tested, he claimed that it had failed. I asked to see the failure sheet, but he never let me see this. I wanted to check online, which you're entitled to do, but Andy gave me the wrong number, so I couldn't check this myself. And he goes on to say, I have refused to pay for the repairs. You drove the car away, Andy. What happened?
We went out for a meal with my daughter and the wife, and I noticed there was a whine coming from the engine.
A whine?
A whine coming
Wasn't whine coming from... You mean there was somebody under the bonnet?
No, a whine or a whistle or whatever.
There was a whistle?
Yeah, a whistle.
The car was whistling to you?
Yeah, basically.
Right.
That I didn't notice on the test drive.
Well, what was it sort of whistling? Was it a discernible tune?
It went up with the engine. It went up with the engine noise.
That sort of thing? What was it?
It was like a whiny, whistly noise that went up with the engine noise.
You had, according to you, bought defective goods.
Yes.
It looked certainly like it was defective. Unless you've got some sort of canary trapped under the bonnet, you don't want your car to whistle.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you're perhaps somebody with low self-esteem and you deliberately buy a car that whistles. As you drive along, it says... or something of that sort. Understood?
Yes.
For more Judge Rinder cases, click here. And if you've got a legal issue yourself, get in touch with us by clicking over here.